It is December 30th, 2024. It is one day away from my birthday. And the reason why that's relevant is because the day before my birthday, I was reflect upon myself or things that have happened throughout the year, all leading up to, whatever events unfold. Having your birthday on the very last day of the year is a very good time to do this, by the way. But it's always a big reflection period. And then the day after that, I always have this weird drive or instinct to want to make a YouTube video or think about content. And that's such a weird thing to think about. Not for any, specific reason. Ever since I was in middle school, maybe young elementary, I wanted to be a YouTuber. And that washed away, after some time as I've grown older. But, I always feel like I want to put out some video at the start of the new year or around that time, or do something. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm recording a video, just walking through the park right now, clearing my mind. Just wanting to talk about some things. I did mention that it is 2024. That means I will end up being 24 by tomorrow. Wow, incredible. And that's interesting, because it means that if my 100-year-old curse is true, I will have lived out, almost a whole quarter of my life. If I live to 100, I will have 1 year left in the first quarter of my life. And, it's honestly been a long ride. I know people say life is a little bit too short. That's probably true, depending on how you view it, but you can only do so much in one lifetime. I felt like at my age, I've gone through and done a lot. But I started thinking about it just a little bit more, and just wondering, where we go from here. And I think one of the things I internally just thought about now, about recording content and uploading videos and all of that, it's such a nice time capsule. A lot of my favorite memories of friends have thankfully been caught on camera. Not all of them for sure, but I have clips on my channel or old channels of just fun, goofy shit has happened to friends. It's nice to be able to just look back on that and look back at those moments of what you were like back then, what your life was like. And also just, embrace it a little nostalgia. So, I don't really have a full goal with this whole thing. Mostly just try to get some thoughts and stuff out of my mind before I go into tomorrow, and I just kind of wash a lot of this reflective state. Talking about that 100-year-old curse a little bit, I made a promise to a friend a very long time ago that we both would not die until we reach 100. And, growing older and going through a lot of situations that could have quite frankly killed me, fighting people outside, getting hit by cars, having cars run into buildings, getting hit by another car, There's a lot that could have just taken me out. And I don't want to get, too egotistical about it, but I started to think that 100-year-old curse is kind of true. I'll just be immortal until I'm 100. And like I said, if that is true, if I do live till I'm 100, and I stubbornly will refuse to die until I am at least 100, I'll have lived almost a quarter of my life now. Now, obviously, about 3 of those years I can't recall shit from, not sentient enough, or have, very strong memories from those times. But, you go through a pattern through your early years, going to school, going on these, school dances and all these other things. And you get older, and I think you're starting to set into a pattern, for most people at least. I think it's a goal, right? You want to get a stable job, finish up your school, get a career. and maybe settle down and then do riskier stuff later. But a lot of it is trying to find a balance. So that's where I'm at right now. And back to thinking about content creation, all of that. I've always wondered about what stopped me from, continuing a little bit further. Because I've had moments of fire that I could strike. I've had great moments of opportunity. Obviously, I think most of the people who might click on this video came here because of the Radical Red stuff, or they just love me. They just think I'm precious. But, that was a big moment where I could have stoked the flames. Now, granted, I didn't get hit by a car and couldn't really operate at a desk for a long time. But even after that, I just felt no motivation to go back to that type of content. And I've done tall task editing projects before. Nothing to like the feature-length film that you'll see on YouTube nowadays. But, I've done things that require a tedious amount of editing. Put yourself through. And I'm definitely capable of doing a longer project if I really set my mind to. But I just have a block that comes to doing stuff like that. But also, a little bit facetious. I could go out there and I could do the thing that all the successful people are doing, trying to follow the trail. But I've basically given up on that path of, trying to be content creator worthy. In fact, there's parts of me that wish I could have retracted some parts of my online persona or how much I've shown, but we're way past that point, right? Anyways, I think the point is saying that, I want to keep track of my life a little bit better. And so I have this, I'm calling this an ambitious goal for me because I've never done something like this. I thought about it. It's like, entertain the idea of, doing a video every day of the year or doing daily content or stuff like that. But what if I just did? What if I just, unapologetically put myself out there and talked about the things I want to do? I don't maintain to a gimmick. I'm not the Pokemon TCG guy. I'm not the Pokemon Radical Red guy. I'm the Cypher guy. I'm not any of those things. I am just simply Zelfie, and I just do the things that I want to talk about. And it's not always going to be something that's super high quality, right? It's going to be something that I'm interested in. Whether it's just me walking around and rambling because I have to get something out, or I'm just fucking playing a game, or I'm just talking. Maybe I put together a script, I talk about something that's been on my mind or I want to share. All these things, I think, sorry, I'm talking a lot out in the cold. But I think a lot of these things are things I'm passionate about. I want to put a little bit of myself out there because I've already put so much of myself out there for real. But regardless, I don't know. I'm such a person who fails to share or open up themselves to the world. Mostly wearing some type of facade or mask in most situations. Just because, one, I don't like being a bother to people. And two, I'm a little shy boy. I'm a little introvert. A lot of my friends may disagree. They might see me as a very extroverted, bubbly guy. But in reality, I'm very, very close and, in my shell. So I'll get a chance to talk about some of these things I really want to. Sometimes I'm just waiting for, somebody to say something about something I'm really passionate about. I'm just like, hey, I know a little bit about this stuff. Other times I'm just like, I might drive with a few people that, actually consider me close acquaintances, even if I don't share that much about myself. It's rough out there, essentially what I'm saying. I think I'm just going to force myself to talk, essentially. Blast myself on mic for 10 minutes every single day of the year. If I fail, whatever, who gives a shit, right? Many people make a New Year's resolution and drop their goals. But this is the last chance I'm going to be able to take a hold of something, before I reach the second quarter of my life. That's not very important to most people. But to me, I've placed I don't know. I've placed I almost want to say unhealthy. Unhealthy is the first word that's jumped my mind right now. But I've placed an extreme amount of importance on something that's, one, like, not even remotely relatable to most people, I think. And two, something completely arbitrarily made up. I mean, this is based off the pretenses that what I'm evaluating is entirely based off the singular special day of the year I was born. Based off the fact that people care. And based off the fact that I made up a fucking rumor of not dying until I live for 100 years. But who gives a shit? This is my journey now. I mean, it's always been, but this is a little bit of my reality that I want to hold on to just for a little bit longer. And I think taking on a goal like this may help me express myself or talk about the things I've wanted to talk about for a whole 25 years that I've been unable to. And I'm going to take this shot and probably fuck it up. But we'll see.